All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Hanamonogatari, Episode 2.
Kanbaru's arm is back to normal.
She could be completely better now.
She could be. Yeah.
Is this an aspect of Roka being a proper counselor where
Possibly.
Kanbaru just stopped worrying about it and solved her problem?
No.
Is there something more going on?
Mm-hmm.
Her worry regarding whether or not she was Sir Devil was alleviated, so that at the very least could potentially be the instigating factor of it. It could have been something that Ogi might have kind of, done a little manipulation
Ogi
thing
is
there
in this arc, and that's a bit worrying.
I feel like Ogi always shows up in these recent arcs in like the very beginning and the very end, and not as much in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really curious to see if Ogi shows up again at the end. But this arc almost like misdirected us as to what it was about, potentially because of the arm thing now being completely better. So.
I mean, it can still be about
what will be the conflict focus?
Right. Well, I'm guessing it's something where it's what does Kanbaru do now? Because now that this has been resolved, how does she feel about that? What's what happens next?
There is something though that we have to bring up. That's something that gives some potential interesting context to this.
Yep.
And that is that Koi was an amazing arc, in going back and just enjoying its goodness. There's something rather interesting regarding this arc in there, and that Kaiki completely name drops Roka in that arc as like, hey, this will be important info for later.
Yeah. When
I become acquaintances with Kanbaru Suruga.
Which is very interesting because he died at the end of Koi, and this is very much after the end of Koi.
Right.
So
wait, what?
And the thing is that Kanbaru didn't... Like, this isn't something where they're going to, I'm guessing, because of how their interaction went in the previous episode, they're not going to be able to say that she goes back in the point when she does the mission with Gein or whatever, and she meets Roka there, because then it would, like, that wouldn't work, right?
So I'm really curious what the conflict with this arc will be about. I'm really curious if this was an example in the past of basically Kaiki kind of lying to the audience, essentially,
because
that he would make it, but he wouldn't know that necessarily at the time.
But at the same time, he also did say that he was some of the things that he said were going to be lies. So he was upfront and honest about that.
And in some ways, like, how can you state something with fact about the future?
Well, I mean, he was already breaking the fourth wall.
I mean, but that might be another thing, is that the way he could do that is because he is narrating the story. Being the unreliable narrator that he is, he's actually talking about this arc from the future. So therefore, when he was talking in present tense, he was in the future from the visuals we were seeing. So
it's very complicated.
So he might not be dead.
Hey, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome
if he wasn't. I think
another thing that's I would say rather important to bring up is that we were informed, because this doesn't really affect the general side of things, but we were informed that, of course, this is not season 3 of Monogatari yet.
Right, it is.
And even the Fire Sisters brought that up.
Yeah.
This is a unique kind of season 2 side story kind of thing going on there.
Right, because, that makes me a bit curious about how they're going to, if this is season 2's handling of Kanbaru, then what's season 3's handling of Kanbaru? Because if they have her past graduation here, and Monogatari itself is the story of Araragi and his last year of high school.
Right, there's definitely side stories that are adjacent to that, but they always have some way slightly of tying a little bit back into Araragi's story.
But does that mean that we're not really going to see Kanbaru again in the main story, or that it'll just be that if we do, it'll be in her previous form of, like this episode is already past anything that we'll see of Kanbaru with the other characters?
I hope that's not the case. They did set us up a little bit for that by having her discussion regarding Araragi and Senjugahara be like, they're gone, they've graduated, they moved on.
Right.
So, I'm here and having to figure out kind of new friend situations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. New arcs of Monogatari lead to new mysteries and new questions and new characterizations.
Yep.
Yes. So without further ado, y'all, let's get into this. All right, everyone, we're going to be starting the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now.
All right.
Completely better.
Yep.
Wow. Hmm. Okay. Yeah.
And now you've fully forgiven him? Maybe because you finally moved on from Senjigahara? Wow.
Wow. Something might have happened to you. The glorious form of our Genki girl. Bathed in
the
sunlight.
sights of spring. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. All right, let's continue with our sports anime. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see all this.
Why do I have a lump in my chest? Because you have cancer. No. Now, I love this opening, and yet I'm really worried because of this opening. Like,
well, it's the part where you're like, are we getting like her entire like backstory here,
right,
in this OP? Because it's so like vivid, and yet,
or is this the future?
Like, yeah. I would say if anything, the hairstyle difference is the telling of the passage of time.
Okay,
and it does evolve like slightly, but this this aspect of kind of telling a very linear story here, regardless of what context it is in our main story, is just like I love that we're actually getting that, because Kambaru is one where she's always kind of told us what's going on, but we've never actually seen what's going on as much with her.
But like the bits of like the dissonant aspects in it just it makes you really
that, like,
worried
flash
that
frame
it's
of animation that was like in
or
between that transition there. That really like, right, because her arm is weaker.
Wow.
Dang. Okay. She's whole. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. That was really good.
Oh, Ogi back already. Okay. Oh, now. For two reasons.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Hmm. Hmm.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Of your invention. That's great.
Oh.
Yikes. Yeah. Dang. Why not? Oh, okay. Okay. Ah! Wow!
Wait a minute.
Wow!
Wait a minute.
You mad lad!
Hold on.
You
Hold
did
on.
it! You did it!
Wait.
With a beard and mustache!
Whoa!
Oh!
Hold on. Wait.
Oh.
But wait.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I am so glad to see you.
She's just
Taiki.
walking away.
Gein's child. Oh wait.
That's again the last
the
name. I don't.
Wait, is he actually part vampire now? Maybe that's why he was so fast. That could also be why he's alive.
Well, I think there's a possibility that he might have always been, you know, like. Oh my gosh!
Wait, is that what it was? No, because he's been in the sunlight before.
There's just something we're not aware of here. Whoa. Whoa.
Picks her up with one hand.
That sound? What
Yeah.
that sound?
Uh-huh. So, wait, but you died, man. Because he couldn't go back in. Okay.
Actually, that's a lie. Wait. He would be the kind of person, though, to give maybe confirmation regarding her family setup and what have you.
Uh-huh.
Sure. Oh! Oh! There it is. Wow. Wow. Yep. Yep. Yeah, about your family. I'm like, oh my god, what is this thing? He's building up to buy you coffee.
Yeah.
I'm spending money on another person.
Yeah.
Wait. They bought a lot more than coffee.
Yeah.
A yucky vegetable place. Wow. This is nice.
Yeah.
Spending a lot of money. It's like an iteration on Kaiki's theme.
I didn't think we'd hear this again.
Good. Let's go after this. Yeah.
That looks really good.
That looks really good. Yeah.
That looks really good.
Itadakimasu.
Wow. Not using sauce.
Give me a reason to dislike you, yeah. Oh. Good. Yes, yes. Yes.
Well,
Guy,
she wasn't,
our Guy.
but she wasn't introduced as her aunt, so yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh. Oh, okay. So Kaiki would know then that Okay. Huh.
Wait.
No.
Hold on.
No way. Wait. Wait. Is his daddy Kaiki? I've had some weird parental theories, and he's making a point that it's not, because he calls her Izuko rather than Gain, which is her mom. Uh-huh.
He's not denying it.
Uh-huh. Right. And you resent using the name Kambaru because...
Yep. Yep.
But you won't. The meat's burning now. Gotcha. A memory. Oh, come on. Oh. Could have been another lie there.
He did look away.
Yep. Wait. I suppose. Yeah. He's telling the truth. Muda.
Oh. Okay.
Ha! We're in a light novel, goddammit.
Yeah.
Wow. Kaiki just...
Okay.
Oh, Kaiki. Okay. What's with the eating in that order? Oh, we'll get that later.
Okay.
Whoa.
Oh shit.
Paying the bill. Why does it feel like...
Roca.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Oh my god.
All right.
That was an
Geiki's
amazing...
back.
That was an amazing,
He's back.
amazing moment.
Oh, man. Wow.
So not only is Kaiki back, he dropped some serious info.
He did.
Like, he gave us so much.
Whoa.
So not only is
he
as
alive?
he calls her, yes. But not only is, as he calls her, Izuko, in the context of her mom, actual Gain, he's romantically tangled with some things, and he hadn't seen her in 15 years, you know? That's after she would have been born, obviously, Kambaru. But I mean, he was kind of acting like a dad in a ways, you know?
Yeah.
Like, eat your meat, grow up, get big and strong, you know?
Wait.
Making comments about how...
What if he actually was her dad?
I know.
Like that would be... Wait.
I'm really excited because Kaiki has become like one of my favorite characters just so quickly since, Koi. Oh, end credit scene. Bubbles. Okay.
Yeah, how did she know?
Wow.
Hey. That's quite the shot right there.
Oh, that's a good friend right there.
Yeah.
I totally identify with
Kanbaru's
desire to
clothing.
just throw off clothes. Clothes are stupid. Clothes are heavy, weighted, and they itch and make things like there's too much friction involved. And just the wind on your bare ass is the best thing in the world. This episode is so back? Good. Freaking Kaiki is back.
Wait, but
freaking Kaiki.
Hold on. That reversal on top of a reversal on top of a reversal. Jesus. What? But
so we're not gonna find out. We're not gonna find out why.
But it did seem to be that he might be part vampire something or other because
I don't think that's the point though.
Yeah,
it's just the fact that he's back and he made a promise to her mom because he did have like very intimate connections with her. Mm-hmm. Now, whether or not he's her daddy, one thing, that's another thing.
Yep.
But at the very least, he has a promise that he made to Gain. Now, I liked here that he was in some ways helping me out by saying, she's Gain, the mom.
Right.
But Gain Izuko, she's just Izuko. The name Gain holds value to him. It can't just be like... It can't just be taken lightly. So, Kanbaru is Gain as well. Like,
you're
never
daughter
call
of
you
Gain.
Kanbaru. And I liked that because there's so much character in that.
Right.
We have yet to know exact details regarding that, but that's just so exciting to think. So I think if anything, Kaiki is going to be the one that will usher in our connection as the audience to finding out who is her mother.
Okay, hold on a second.
Like who she is in the story.
So when Kaiki
or in relation to the story.
When Kaiki in Koi was thinking about the childhood friend that he lost, one, he could have been thinking, he was probably thinking about Kanbaru's mom.
Yeah.
He could have been thinking about her from the sense that he lost her and that he isn't close to her anymore and she married someone else and all that. But it could also be that given that point, since the time that he went back was after her mom had died, that was why he was at her house in Nisei.
Wait. Explain what you're meaning.
I
lost you for a second.
When he went back to this town in the first place, in Nisei, it was because her mom had died and he was going to watch over her, but she didn't pay him, so he just checked in on her.
Yeah, I think it was essentially that he was just checking in on her.
Right. So when
and everything seemed fine, I guess.
Which is great because that means that when he was talking about his childhood friend that died in Koi, he was actually talking about a death that happened recently, but because of how it was brought up in the childhood friend that died, it didn't seem that way.
Oh.
Because of like the way that he was talking about it. Like,
I have to go and rewatch Nisei that part then because I feel like I am not really aware of when Gain the mom died. Mm-hmm. I still think there's going to be some kind of something or other regarding her mom's relevance in the story.
Yeah.
Because there's been so much like mystery surrounding it. And they don't just go out and say like all these extra details about her, which would be something I think you could end up having in the show. So therefore I feel like there has to be some kind of mystery that we're going to get slowly unveiled. And Kaiki being in the story, in my opinion, means that mystery will be, if anything, revealed this arc. Because he's the one that would make the most sense to reveal it. He has the most connection with the mom other than who we've been calling Gain all this time. I almost want to call her just Izuko now because I respect Kaiki's, his his statements too much.
But
like,
oh my god, that means that even in Koi, when he was saying when I become acquainted with Kanbaru, that was actually the truth because he's never told a lie in his life.
And yet he always lies.
He always, it's complicated, but he was telling us even back then it wasn't a red herring, even though it seemed like maybe it was, but it's not.
Well, I mean, I just forgot about it in the finale. So,
but the idea that even going back and seeing that we didn't realize that, I mean, the idea cropped up into our head of maybe Kaiki's alive, and we would hope that he'd be alive. But the fact that he actually is like, okay, and how that worked, I don't know.
Yeah,
but.
I love that there are these moments that happen and you could completely have seen it coming if you just paid attention to little details like that.
And yet you can be staring right at all the details and not see it coming.
How? I don't know. But here we are.
Whoa.
And, okay, the conversation between Kaiki and Suruga, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe an evolution of her name as well. Is something that we'll bring up, but let's go into the beginning here. She is reacting to the fact
that her arm is back to normal.
Yeah. And it's this feeling of freedom. It's this feeling of being whole. It's this feeling of joy and elation because there were so many things that she lost in the in the act of having this monkey's paw demon arm or what have you.
And the way they portrayed it was absolutely fantastic because if you think about Kanbaru, we haven't seen her in a very, very long time. And even when we did see her for like a little bit in Nisei, it was something that wasn't pertaining to her own story, right? It was just her interacting with Araragi.
Right.
So the idea that we see her and just how much it means to her, I think is really precious because even in Bake, when she had the arm, the arm didn't seem to be something that bothered her. It was just the symptom of what really was bothering her, right? So the fact that after not seeing her for a long time, we come back to her and immediately give her the thing that she wants. That would be really tough to do because then how do you make it be cathartic and have payoff because we haven't seen her want this thing for a long time, right? Because she's been out of the story. But the way they did that scene, it absolutely sold it. Like
I loved that.
It was wonderful. And the fact that she even bandaged her arm up, even though her arm was back to normal, that I thought was pretty interesting.
That I think there's a couple layers to that. There's one where if it was suddenly removed, people might ask questions that she's not wanting to answer right now because it's just tricky.
Sure.
It could also be just something where it's the force of habit, and that's, I think, a very possible thing as well. I think there's also maybe a little bit of comfort found maybe in wrapping up that part of her still, and that ties in a little bit to the habit, but it's just something where it's like, I kind of like that feeling maybe.
Well, or maybe just the idea that she's not really necessarily willing yet to trust in the fact that this amazing thing is actually happening.
It's like
real.
It's like when you have a really good thing, you get scared that it's going to be taken away rather quickly.
Especially if it's something that was replacing a bad thing, right? And you were used to the bad thing. Then when you get the good thing, it's uncomfortable and you're not. Yeah.
And it's sudden, unnatural circumstance that
and
you're unaware of how or why that led to it being made better. You could definitely posit that something negative could reverse it back just as quickly. So that's an interesting thing. I like, though, that this whole scene, though, abruptly transitions into the track kind of dynamic thing here with Ogi and in this case, Suruga is walking again, and this is something where we're almost getting set up for the point that Kaiki is going to make later, that people aren't consistent. People aren't going to just be a one-note character. They have complexities. They have depth. They have different angles that you can view them through that are accurate because your perception dictates in a lot of ways how you're going to how they're going to appear to you. So in this case here, this is something rather interesting, is the idea that Ogi is like, I've never seen you walking before. This is like, the Genki character is walking. What is this?
One of the things that I love about that is there's a trope motif where you have a character that basically is running after something they want, and they fall down and they need to get back up, right? And that's a very common thing, and it can be very powerful. And oftentimes that can also be done in longer form stories where it's this person has fallen down in the past because of something, and they're needing to get back up. They're needing to learn to walk again. And in Kanbaru's case, she was running around everywhere, but then she fell down. Yeah. Well, and her whole story is about her falling, right? In love and all this stuff,
Absolutely.
Right? So the fact that then she falls down because, she can't run like this, and it's that symbol of change and everything, and then she starts crying even though it hurt. It's just fantastic. But then she goes and she starts walking, and she doesn't have a problem with the fact that she's walking. She's calm, she's collected and everything. She's come to accept the fact that this is now a new process, and she's learning to do it all over again.
Yeah. Ogi, though, being a little bit not abrasive, but as Kanbaru put it, kind of a dick here, is interesting.
And then, that's right, I'm a boy now.
And it says, no, don't worry about it. I shouldn't have said that for 2 reasons. Yeah. Ogi. Ogi. Yeah. What is... See, there's something I'm curious about here. Is I was saying in the earlier parts of... Before we even started this reaction, that Ogi does seem to fit the mold a little bit of whatever character he, what have you, is interacting with. Yeah. But in this case, it's wait, no. This is something where saying that was something that was that they changed now, and they are a boy, is something that isn't either necessarily completely true, or it's giving a false pretext for certain things. But then it's saying I shouldn't have said that for 2 reasons, and it's like, okay, there's one obvious reason, which is it's not true. It's I shouldn't have said that because it's just not helpful information. And I can easily assume that would be at least one reason. But what's a second reason?
Yeah. And
Is this a you shouldn't know that kind of I shouldn't have said that, because usually should rather than the idea of something being helpful versus unhelpful, should versus could or would, okay.
Ogi, I don't trust Ogi as
far as you can throw them.
As I don't trust Ogi as much pigmentation as there is in their character design. And there isn't much.
Yeah, so this is an interesting bit here. They remark with Kanbaru's the whole bike thing, and I'm like, why is this something that Kanbaru, or sorry, Suruga is thinking about? I was a bit curious and asked with Higasa, and apparently if you pedal backwards, the bike actually goes backwards. Ogi's bike must be the same build, and it's like, okay, interesting. Then there's this whole thing of the writing on the track here. Do you get anything from this?
Well, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be something where that's like, these are the sort of like the general names and rankings given to the tracks for like when you're running track or something like that. And because Suruga likes to run a lot, because from the outside to the inside, it gets progressively like better seemingly. So from backdoor course, it's way out there. Window course, you're looking in. Regret course, almost. Overtime course, where you're needing to really push yourself in order to catch up. Ascension course, you're getting really good. Winner's course, and then intangible course, where it's like you're beyond awesome, right?
Yeah, it's closer to the inner parts of the...
Right, and what I'm guessing that ties to is the whole idea that that's the shortest distance, right? So if you can, I'm guessing this is how it works, but if you're running and you want to be able to get as close to the inside as possible, so that you're
in a track, usually when you line up in the beginning, you start off on a diagonal, staggered out
to make up for the fact that you're on
a bigger circle. But there's a certain point where everyone is allowed to converge on the point, and you can run anywhere on the track.
Right.
It's just for the beginning stage there, and you run past, I think it's a certain point, and then you can do that. So,
yeah, and I'm guessing that's what it is. That's what it is in the case of like the actual track. But the fact that they're showing this here means that it probably has some relevance to what they're specifically talking about. And
right, because there's a later bit where they show like a jogging lane and a cycling lane. It's just that's where they happen to be in at that point. So it's not necessarily super relevant story-wise, but I just found it interesting because I saw regret here, and regret is just a trigger word in my opinion for what could be something to do with not just specifically Suruga's story and character, but also the OP, which I kind of looked at a little bit closer on this episode's watch versus the first episode. And I have thoughts that I'll probably just kind of let percolate over the course of watching this arc.
One of the other things that I thought was kind of interesting is that, of course, she's in the middle because, being the focus of the frame, but that's in the overtime course, which is the idea of the transition, right? It's and that's kind of what she
is in the middle.
What she is in the middle of, right?
There's a lot of transition kind of stuff going on, I would say, in this arc so far. You have Kaiki, who essentially transitions the whole story and conflict to be around something else entirely. You have Ogi, who in and of themselves is somewhat one that we're like adjusting to the transition of.
Right.
You have a character in Roka who was
had a transition
present and had a transition in their past, but is specifically helping people through transitions.
Right.
And then they literally mention here, which I was wanting to bring up, is that the idea that you can't be two things at once. And they've always been talking about perspectives and stuff in Monogatari, but then Kaiki brings it up really hard in that when you look at people from different perspectives, they will be different.
Well, and also the fact that if you... So, okay.
So you can't be a devil at the same time that you're a person lying.
That is literally something that they were talking about with the darkness anti-existent stuff of, you're trying to be a person when you're a ghost, right? You're not being your ghost self, right? For Hachikuji. And then also, if the perspectives are different, right, that changes what's happening. Right now, Ogi is pedaling backwards in front of Suruga.
Yeah.
If the perspective is changed, it might look like he's about to run over Suruga.
Okay.
Based on just, where the direction of movement is.
Sure.
I don't know if that's something that's intentional or not, but it's Monogatari, so I feel like there's almost no limit to how deeply it can be read into.
I mean, there obviously is an intended viewpoint, though.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's something I get what you're saying, but yeah, there's something specifically probably to be gleaned from this.
Yeah.
But her line of all you can be is a person who's like a devil. Now, that's pretty emphatic in that it brings up these kind of silhouettes of sorts.
Well, I think it's different versions of herself because
now, okay, I think you're right, but I almost get a vibe from this that because they're inverted in terms of color schemes almost, that I get the vibe that these two versions of herself draw connection to two very important people in her life.
Okay.
First one here being Senjugahara.
All right.
Purple eyes. And in some ways, you could actually look at this, I would say, this character design, and you could mistake it for Senjugahara. I could see that. Do you see that a little bit here?
Not really, but...
No? Okay, does it look really like Kambaru?
I mean, it's in... Well...
Does it even look like Kambaru? The eyebrows?
Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the red one here, in a little bit of ways, I kind of see more that it feels like it's Kambaru. But almost in a weird way, it reminds me of Araragi.
Well, it's in a weird... Really?
I don't know. It's just a vibe I got, and I kind of wanted to know if there was anything that you got similar. Like, what is your reasons for them showing these two things? And
because
your thoughts with that.
You can you can be a person that is like a devil.
Uh-huh.
Kanbaru has attacked people.
Yes.
Right. She made a deal with the devil, essentially. Right. And she sees that as being a part of herself, and it's gone now, but that was still a reality that she lived in.
So this was the scary look of her devilish self.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. Yeah, this was the reason why she had to tape up her arm every night,
Okay. I like it. I just find it interesting that instead of just showing one look, they showed two.
Well, yeah, because it's the duality of it, right? Like,
but is one of these not the monster then?
Well, right, because it's the human that is like a devil.
Oh, okay. All right. I like it. I love it's still drawing that you can't be both. The duality is in the appearance, in the being like. And I think like is maybe just a little bit of a simple word for it. Mm-hmm. But it's yeah. All right. We end up trying to find Roka, and we bump into Kaiki.
Yeah.
Holy Kaiki, y'all. So many things happening here.
Like there's a part of me that, like, with him running after her and stuff, it almost feels like it's like the audience being like, okay, wait, is he actually alive? Who knows? And it's like, no, shh. He keeps running in front. Here I am. I am definitely alive. It's me, but
this isn't just some apparition or what have you.
Yeah. But then there's the whole thing of, like, how did he keep up with her when she is super fast and, like, just picking her up with one arm? Like, there were certain things that he was doing that could have just been for the narrative flow and, comedy sort of the situation, or it could be for, like, literal, these are things that he's doing that he shouldn't be able to. Especially
I think in some ways it's so funny with the way his posture is,
just straight up and down like he's jogging or something.
Right, I can't take it as anything like super.
Whereas Kanbaru's like, like leaning forward and just
and he
tearing it up, and he just sort of
cartoon runs his way past her there. If anything, I feel like this is more of the thing of saying, you can't run away from certain problems.
Yes.
This is one that must be addressed.
Yeah.
And she's just basically like, this is painful, shameful. Can the world please end? Basically that she gets down on herself so much because she can't run away from her problem. And then it leads to the funniest little moment here.
Pout, sad face.
With the squeamish little thing there. And he's just like, well, what an expression that is.
Well, and the fact that when she was on her hands and knees, right. And crying and stuff, that she was upside down in the frame, right? Like, that just like that, her whole world had been flipped on end. Just like ours has, because Kaiki's back.
Yeah. He calls her Gein's child, showcasing his very specific aversion to calling her by her her formal given name due to her familial.
And if it is something where he is her actual father, that makes even more sense why he would call her Gein's child, because you're not a Kanbaru,
Right.
Like, yeah. So, oh man,
yeah. There's stuff there I want explored. Now, I also think that this scene as well has some potential comedy that we might be missing here. Except that if I just look at it from the standpoint of he's supposed to help her, regardless of whether or not he's her daddy,
Yeah.
This whole scene is just him being like, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Please do that. And we almost never see her eating.
And I gotta say,
I don't think we see almost anyone in Monogatari really eating.
Yeah, not often. Shinobu will eat donuts, but but one of the things I mentioned in the previous episode that she looked really thin. So Kaiki also mentioned that. Just
Oh, okay. That is right. That is true. Now, I would just say, like, this is just another thing where it could be looked at as a form of self-care, even though he is paying for it and what have you. I mean, she has to choose to eat the meat, basically.
Right.
So, what have you. We end up leading into the bit where he's calling that he resents calling her Kanbaru. And there's a bit here where we're like, wait, you're right-handed, Tsuruga? Gein was left-handed. So, is this something that contradicts previous information? Like, did we have any clues? Like, bear with me, guys. Like, is there any info that was to lead that she was left-handed?
I think
this is something I feel like we should.
I feel like that would have been something that was introduced in Bakken. I feel like she might have been, but and that's why the monkey paw thing took over her right arm is because or why it took over her left arm was because she was left-handed, but then because of that she had to start using her right hand for things, which could be another aspect of the whole idea of her not being her best self right now, because even so she's still ignoring that side of her.
Okay, that makes sense then, because this is this little scene where it almost feels like she was naturally going to pick things up with her left hand, then she's like, no,
she's
I
like choosing which hand to use.
She might be just ambidextrous at this point because of the whole experience.
Potentially.
And it's that, maybe you gain something good out of the, negative experience that you go through. Do something to make me hate you. Wow,
sorry. We're associating Kaiki, as if we didn't love him enough already, with an awesome anime food montage. There's just no way.
I feel like Kaiki is completely like dousing any like potential I had of my theory regarding Guy and Izuko being the mom, like almost immediately here in this scene where he's like, I knew your mother. Actually, wait, last August, did you meet your aunt? Her name is Guy and Izuko. And it's like, no, she used a different name around me. And I only realized last name was Guy after she left town. So that's the thing that was with the Hachikuji arc, where she needed Aragi's help with a favor for Kanbaro and to be introduced to that. We still haven't seen that.
Right, we still haven't seen it.
So are we going to get like Gain focus at one point and see like all the points and where she has been involved in the story or what have you?
It's going to be weird. Like this is almost going to take me back to like Neko days where it's like we have all this development for Araragi and then we're going to jump back to before that development happens. And the same thing for Kanbaro, right? Like we're going to have all this awesome growth for her happen this arc, like it already has started to happen, and then we're going to jump way back before that to the situation that she was in earlier.
And given the fact that Kaiki knows both these people, I don't know why he would like withhold like certain information from her at this point. And he is such an aversion to calling people by the wrong names and what have you.
I feel like it's mostly just a complication because of the fact that we haven't actually seen Kanbaru's mom. I don't think we might have seen her in Bake actually. And the fact that the last name being used as the name to refer to somebody when you're not super comfortable with them and whatnot.
That's why you came to town last year. This was funny. Actually, the opposite. You were a secondary concern. Guy never paid me anything, so there was no reason for me to do that.
Yeah.
What was there? I just happened to check on you. It's not like I like you or it's not like I care about you or anything. Baka.
While I was scamming middle schoolers,
Right. I love how she like jumps like straight to the like, were you in love with my mother? And he's just like, that's the problem with kids. They want to have everything. They want everything to have romance. And it's like, we didn't say about romance. I said love, you dingus. Like,
well, it's like, the thing is, he's avoiding the question.
Right, exactly.
Which okay, again, so there's the fact that he was in love with Kanbaru's mom, right? Okay, sure. That would be uncomfortable. But why would it be this uncomfortable?
Right.
Unless you really loved her, and maybe if it's not quite entirely gone is the thing.
Right.
Like if she is his kid, then it's this perpetual reminder of oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bit of him saying like, memory not worth a cent. It's just like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah. The way they had the piece of meat be like, like cooking, and then like it starts like shaking when one of them's like, frustrated and
15 years. And Kanbaru is older than 15 at this point.
She's in her second year of high school.
She's in her second year of high school, so she would be 16 at this point.
Yeah.
Would he see her maybe
like when she was a baby, kind of a thing?
When she was a baby, and that's kind of like maybe. I don't think that this is a definite hint towards anything regarding his relation to Kanbaru. But Suruga.
But it is similar to her age.
It is similar to her age. It is
and
close.
If there were to be something that would cause him to go back and see her, it would be, okay, I guess this is my kid, but they don't have to know that.
This whole bit of I remember her face less than you do. It's like you forgot the face of the girl you loved. And he says, "You see, I'm a cold man."
And he looks up
into the sky, and it shows the burnt meat. It's like, you liar.
He's like, I can't even look. Yeah. Yep.
See, like he basically has these moments where it's like, yes, you're not lying, but you're not answering the question either. So you don't have to basically lie.
Well, and one of the other things too is that Kaiki has no problem deceiving people, right? He is an honest man in that he doesn't lie, but he has no problem deceiving people.
Yes.
So
with the truth, you know?
Why does he avoid looking at her when he says that?
Yeah.
Why do that?
Yeah,
that seems like there's something a bit more than just him caring about her mom.
Because then the way he does this, either way, is basically saying, regardless.
Yeah.
like this is a funny thing to say.
Let's put that aside.
Right. Yeah. He's basically saying, the previous thing that I said doesn't matter. Either way, Suruga, I'm glad to see that Gein's child's doing well. This is warmth right here in a lot of ways.
And also by saying either way, it's acknowledging the possibility that the thing that I said wasn't true was true, you know?
Yeah.
So, I feel like because of that, of Koi, like we just have such a better understanding of Kaiki, even if this whole thing like is totally bogus and he's actually not her dad or anything like that, right? But just the way that you can look closely at what Kaiki says and what he doesn't say, like the specific vernacular of how he says something, and be like, oh, you avoided telling a blatant falsehood there. Like because you didn't specifically confirm it. It's like in the movies or whatever where the cops go undercover. And because there's that bogus, Hollywood rule of like cops have to, say that they're cops if they're asked, right? The person will be like, "Are you a cop?" And it's like, "Yeah, right." Is it a cop? Come on. It's like, no.
This whole bit where Kaiki just monologues is just so you can never guarantee the person you like will like you back. You can never guarantee the person you hate will hate you. And then he goes into, we aren't characters in a manga. There's no human who is all bad. There's no human who is all evil. No one has the same personality when viewed from all angles. And no one has the same personality at all times. You're good at running, but you don't run every single instant, do you? You walk, you sleep. It's the same thing. I love money, but I also use that money. Sometimes I might be kind to someone, even if I have no particular reason to be. So, this is...
saying that, even if I have no particular reason to be. And then he sort of grimaces
right. It's this whole bit is such just
it is
chef's
absolutely
kiss,
wonderful. It's so
it's
good.
Monogatari.
Yeah.
It's also Kaiki.
Yeah.
But it's also something where there's so many other things that we now know because of how much of the show we've watched thus far, where this information can be applied. Not this information from a meta level, but literally with regards to the characters.
Well, okay,
I just want to keep going here for a second, is that we have a lot of characters who have been ones where we've been led to believe they are all of a certain thing, or they are such an embodiment of a specific thing, and then we get extra characterization on them, and it's no, it's not the case at all. There's always some contrast, there's always some flip side, there's another perspective on things that we haven't considered yet. But I loved that sometimes I might be kind to someone, even if I have no particular reason to be. Calling back to Koi's beginning monologue bit, where he's trying to search for a reason to be kind to Senjugahara, and the reason that he gave himself was Suruga.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'll do it for her sake.
Oh my
sure,
God.
Why not?
Oh my God.
You just...
No, okay.
That was what I wanted to say. So, go for it.
One of the things that I love about this, a lot of times in stories, and sometimes Monogatari will do this, but not often, is that there will be some mystery that'll be introduced, right? And the mystery will be something where it's a mystery, right? And then there's a reveal of said mystery. But the problem is that I don't have any particular investment in the mystery itself, because I don't see how it ties to the characters or things like that or whatever, right? Sure. In Monogatari, they do this very well with all the supernatural occurrences that happen, and they're all reflections of the people's internal states, right? So the mysteries there are resolved in the same fashion and breadth and pace as the characters themselves grow.
A lot
now,
of them,
Now, sometimes there's other things that don't necessarily seem to have any particular relevance in the immediate sense, like who left the note under, Kaiki's door, right? It gets a lot of relevance later when we realize it's Senjukahara. Okay, awesome, right? But before it's like, okay, so someone doesn't want him to do this, but the attachment that I would have to that being solved is because of how it affects Kaiki, not because of just inherently,
so
right?
What are you talking about with regards to here?
So in here, the fact that there's this whole idea of this mystery that can be had about, okay, is Kaiki, say, her dad, right? And all of this other stuff that surrounds it, it is so closely tied to the characters that if that reveal is a thing, because especially since you said that whole point of that it was on behalf of Kanbaru that he helped Senjukahara. Oh my god!
I almost want to say that he specifically called her Suruga even back then.
Probably, and I believe that that when he found the house in Nisei, he specifically was like, Gain, this is the house of Gain. I believe she goes by the name of Kanbaro or something now, or something like that.
Right.
But oh my god, wow! This is just so this is too much. This is too much.
So he gives her his business card.
Yep.
Now, specifically, there was a thing written on it that he crossed out or what have you.
Oh yeah,
what
it was like Ghostbuster or something.
I think Ghostbuster was the part that was written down, but. Oh, so he did cross that out. He crossed out
Ghostbuster because, of course, Kaiki reuses his business cards. He's not just going to get rid of a good business card. He paid big money for that. But one of the other things that's so awesome about this, too, is that this is, assuming that the theory is right and that she is his actual daughter, this is him trying to reach out and form connections with his daughter. And then the whole question of what's Kanbaru's thing going to be for the third season of Monogatari, since this is taking place after, I'm guessing, the whole of Monogatari is essentially over because it's the story of Araragi's final year in high school. That could be something where it's the two of them reconnecting and spending time together or whatever, and you have no idea how much I love it when they do father and daughter figures and storytelling and stuff. And
Okay. So the whole thing with the monkey's paw, though, someone is going to come for it, a collector. That is terrifying.
Right. And
why?
And are they talking about the actual physical animate object that is there, and maybe Kanbaru still has that? Or are they talking about the actual thing that she, like her arm that had transformed into that? Is the fact that it's gone, is that actually a bad thing because the person has already collected it somehow? Is Ogi trying to recreate the body of some demon in order to whatever? I don't know.
Yeah. But I get the vibe that it has already been collected.
Yeah, probably.
I get the vibe that specifically because of how this happened, it could have been a thing where it's like, it was just her not worrying about it. It was in some ways of just Roka being a good counselor in that regard. But there is this aspect of it where because Kaiki doesn't know everything,
right?
He doesn't know.
Her arm's still covered.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't know all that stuff. He's not aware of relations to specific events and things that have happened with Suruga because she doesn't trust him in a lot of ways. So she's not telling him everything. But someone will arrive to take it soon. When he says soon, he knew that in the context of when her mom died, right? Like, what makes him think that how does he know that someone will arrive to take it soon?
Maybe
is this something because
all-knowing guy told him?
Maybe, but it's the idea that it's better to ask me for help than the monkey's paw. Your mother left you that monkey's paw, right? Just in case, I'll say this: never use it. Well, too late for that.
Right.
They're already bringing up the point that his data is
dated.
Is dated. Yes, exactly. So when he says someone will arrive to take it soon, that doesn't have to mean that it'll come in the future. That could mean that it already literally happened.
Sure. Yep, that is very true.
They're called a collector. Someone's trying to collect all the parts of a devil, and they're trying to steal the monkey's paw. If they show up, give it to them.
Now, they say they're trying to steal the monkey's paw. If they show up, give it to them. What that made me think is that it's something where he's not saying it's good that they get it. He's saying for your safety, don't oppose them. Yeah,
just let them have it.
Which,
now, I love how he's still like order another plate or two. Meat, eat it.
Yeah,
meat.
yeah. And well, yeah, that's the other thing. He was saying like, oh, let's get coffee. Boom, expensive, lavish, restaurant and whatever. Mm-hmm. When is Kaiki ever like extravagant?
Like this,
even when he was meeting with Senjugahara, it was like, orange juice and like.
Right. Then ends up finding out that it ties it all back to Namachi Roka.
Mm-hmm.
That was how he found out about all this, or basically come here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. The next mystery is where does this lead with regards to Roka and Suruga?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're calling in reinforcements for the Fire Sisters.
Yeah.
Instead of having them in the ED beginning, ending, or the ending bit, giving like their little skit bit
next
thing
episode,
here.
They're actually in the story.
No, it's just they're actually going to be in the story. So fantastic.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah. And that was a brilliant episode.
Yeah, that was so good. That was so good.
I am hyped. Because it's amazing how just a little dosage of Kaiki ends up just like...
But the thing is, they're not just letting us know that he's not dead, right? Because that would be so basic. There's so much more. Like this if he's Kambaro's dad, like, oh my god.
Okay. Just like I apparently was pretty like off base, probably.
Yeah,
with the whole mom theory.
But many things make sense if that's true.
Yeah, I got you. And
even if it's not, even if he's not actually her dad, it could all be on behalf of her dead mother, who he loved, right? And it still works, but it would just make even better.
Yeah. So and hey, it could be still a thing also of like, being her father in terms of figure and role rather than blood.
Sure. And hey, I love those too. Yeah.
And hey, maybe in some ways that's the whole thing that, Gains kind of bring up is that, there's a little bit of complicated stuff going on in the family.
Oh, sure.
It's not necessarily as straightforward. It's not about
it too.
I mean, who knows? But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there, and any level of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general. And you can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yeah. So I wrote a sci-fi novel. It's called Battle Lines. It's really cool, and it's on Amazon. Link in the description. If you want to get it, it's in both hardback and ebook. Go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.